Of course, it's my day 28 of the GFF Men's Division 1. Hello, good afternoon, wherever you might be getting our voices and signals. Of course, welcome to the Live Your Dreams Football Complex. Of course, Live Your Dreams Football Field in Basori, the home of champions Real de Banjul. And it is a clash between Real de Banjul, the champions, and second place Fortune Football Club. And the ground is all set. And it is all set for this huge clash. What are we waiting for? Of course, the clash between champions Real de Banjul and Fortune Football Club. Champions Real de Banjul dressed in all white shirts, white shorts and white socks, whilst the traveling boys of Fortune Football Club dressed in their colorful white and green shirts, green shorts and green socks. And surely Real de Banjul will be playing from our left to right from our commentary cabin, whilst Fortune kicks from our right to left. The central referee, of course, this afternoon is Ibrahim Janko Sama. Abisisa is the first assistant referee. Mustafa Bojang. Aisha Tuture is the match commissioner. Kaba Jiba is the match commissioner, of course, and Alaji Sane is currently serving as the referee assessor from the Live Your Dreams Football Complex, of course, the home of the champions Real de Banjul. Salou Jallo, this is not just only a game, but of course it is a title decider between champions Real de Banjul Football Club. Real de Banjul need a point to be crowned. Football Club will definitely want to deprive champions Real de Banjul from securing the trophy of this year's GFF Men's Division 1. Salou Jallo, do I need to welcome you or you welcome me? Of course, it is the home of the champions Real de Banjul and currently a title decider between Fortune Football Club and champions Real de Banjul.
Let's welcome each other. That is it. But then a very important game to watch. Fixture. Well, before this day, the start of the league, if we are told that coming to Basori on this fateful day, the 19th of June 2025, will be a title decider, you might say no, the league is always dramatic. Yes, it is dramatic, but we could have, of course, enjoyed at the final dance of this year's competition. But it seems to me they're closing the chapters early as possible. Well, champions elect pending, that is Real de Banjul. Probably they will be married to that mantra today after the 90 minutes. Well, a point will do for them. What a way to be a champion at your own patch. But then can Fortune prolong the celebration? Can Fortune delay the celebration? Remains the $1 million question. But then they have a player that is, of course, currently on the limelight. That is, of course, Ibu Sanyan Torres won, Player of the Month award in more than 2 occasions. It's just amazing. But then they also have, you look at the Real de Banjul side, a very young and determined players, very young. The likes of Kebe and Co, who are doing the nominating jersey for the boys and white, that is Real de Banjul. Well, home advantage is always an advantage. It is over to the center referee to give us what we are expecting in the 90 minutes, and it's over to Fortune and Real de Banjul. Well, they were chasing, but it seems to me now most of the teams are now chasing shadows, and Real de Banjul are winning the league. Early on, the coaches will tell you, or the assistant coach of Real de Banjul, or the technicians, that is coaches, will be telling you, catch us if you can. But it's more of like, if you cannot beat them, you join them. But then now you have to join the race because the burden is already with Real de Banjul.
Thank you very much, Salou Jallo, and of course it is all coming to you live from the Live Your Dreams Football Field in Basori, of course the home of the champions, and the champions up against second place. Of course it's a title decider, winner for, of course, the champions, of course the home of the holders, and a victory for Real de Banjul will surely crown them the 2025 champions of the GFF Men's Division 1. Of course a point, of course, will surely do, and also a victory will also do. And into the commencement of this crucial and lively contest from the Live Your Dreams Football Field in Basori. And before going deep into the commentary, a quick rundown on the starting 11 for the champions and the home side Real de Banjul, who are currently starting with Lamin Sedi in goal, Mustafa Nyasi, David Sambu, Ibrahim Ake Jata, Hassan Jiba, Ibunene Gassama, Alassane Sedi, Mustafa Baji, Momodu Jobate, Abdullah Balde and Suwaibu Kebe, completing the 11 for the home side, of course, Real de Banjul, under the guidance of head coach Ibrahim Jata. Jata, who is having the assistance of Ibrahim Acham. And Fortune, under the guidance of Jane Juve and Mustafa Jaju, is starting with Nuha Sanyang in goal. Ibrahim Toure, Bakari Sise, Sambujang Toure, Abdullah Tamba, Seni Jata. Of course, Seni returned after serving his match suspension. Ibu Sanyang, the former Real de Banjul player, is already in the starting 11 for Fortune Football Club. Adama Kante, Salifu Koli, also another former Real de Banjul player. Gaira Juvan, Ferdinand Jata completing the 11 for the travelling boys of Fortune Football Club. And Fortune is currently second, whilst champion Real de Banjul leading the chart, and already that's going to be retaken. Of course, Aliu Jalo, we believe this is going to be an interesting game. We have two players playing for Fortune who were former players of champions Real de Banjul, Ibu Sanyang and Salifu Koli.
Absolutely, and they're here on a different mission. They're not here to put a smile on Real de Banjul. That is not the mission. That's why they're here. They're here to play their part in the quest, of course, delaying the title celebration for the holders, that is Real de Banjul. But you look at also the other striker, that is the number 9 for Fortune, a very experienced Gaira Juve, to be precise. But then Adama has been, Kebe has been a very instrumental player, one of the leading goal scorers for Real de Banjul in this year's competition.
That's a strike coming from Jobate into the gloves of the custodian Nuha Sanyang. Back to you, Saliu.
Yes, indeed. As I was saying, yes, Fortune have experienced players, the likes of Salifu Koli, and of course Ibu Sanyang, the likes of Gaira Juve and Co. But then Real de Banjul are very much determined. They have the experience, they have the formula how to win big games like this. But this fixture will surely defy the moments today.
Thank you very much. Words of a colleague and brother, Saliu Jalo, of course, coming from the home of the champions Real de Banjul. Live your dreams football complex in Basuri. This is Mustafa Nyasi around the center circle, having it tough against Ibu Sanyang. And Ibu is penalized by the central referee, and of course the referee is Ibrahim Janko Sama. Abi Sise is one of the assistants, Mustafa Bujang. Aissatou Toure is the 4th assistant referee. Kaba Jiba is the match commissioner. Fortune Football Club around the 18. Ibu Sanyang strikes. Inches over the crossbar. That never troubled the goalkeeper, but very close, Saliu Jalo.
Yeah, because the problem was the player went on for a very quick play there, but the player in question who was fouled wasn't aware of what is happening. That's why Fortune capitalized on it, and they have to connect the dots with Salifu. But Ibu's strike was too powerful. That could have been a very good punishment for Fortune on the side of Real de Banjul. But that is also a wake-up call for the midfield department for Real de Banjul.
Of course, indeed a wake-up call, and of course it is interesting in and off the field. Already off the field, there's also another entertainment outside.
Yes, they have been together. Remember, they are part of the people that contributed immensely in their last year's journey to be crowned champions. That is the Marakisa Cultural Group, to be precise. Having an interview with them on Capital FM at Caravan Avenue, they did talk about having a partnership with most some of these division clubs, and Real de Banjul came calling, and it was more of like putting pen to paper. And since then, they have been together. They have been very much supportive. The 12th man on the pitch is very important, and this will, of course, reignite the players' spirits and give them that courage and motivation in this journey.
Thank you very much, Saliu Jalo, and back to the live commentary. Ibrahim Toure Fortune connects Adama Kante up front. Adama trying to hold that ball off the area, and already the ball is already in play, and already it's an infringement on Adama Kante, and Fortune will have now the opportunity to deliver a set piece inches off the dividing line, and they will now rely on either one of the central defenders. Ferdinand Jata, Sambujang Toure is one of the central defenders, and he is currently the team captain for Jane Juve on his side. This is the custodian Nuha Sanyang having it tough. Can they get something? Nuha slips in the process. Is that going to be the first goal? And of course, it's a defensive blunder. And that's a goal coming from Swaibu Kebe, and Swaibu broke the deadlock after that howler coming from the netminder Nuha Sanyang, and Fortune, of course, trailed by a goal to nil against the champions Real de Banjul, and the champions are currently leading by a goal to nil. Swaibu Kebe broke the deadlock, and of course he is currently on a fine form. Kebe Swaibu, he finds the back of the net to give the advantage to the boys in all white. Champions Real de Banjul are on course of defending their crown, of course, at home at their very own turf, the Live Your Dreams Football Complex in Basuri, Saliu.
A poor defensive error there. It cost them. That is the tall, lanky central defender for Fortune. Jane is very bitter. Jane is very bitter. He's not happy. He was at one point when the ball was lost, he was looking like a spectator, and it now cost them the number 4. Well, this way giving them this kind of a welcoming remark simply means that you're trying to celebrate them in their own patch. That is Real de Banjul. Are they tested to the limit in this year's competition? Remains similar. Well, the last time they were tested to the limit was against Marimo at the Serekunda Ismini Stadium, in which they have to fall 2-0 to restore parity in added 1-all. But a defensive howler can't win you. Defensive howlers can't win you the league, to be precise.
This is Adam Akante who strikes into the gloves of the custodian Lamin Asedi.
Well, that was just a silver platinum, like a golden opportunity given to Swaibu Kebe, more of like a benachin to feed on, and Swaibu just tapped it in an empty net. Well, the goalkeeper was also not on a high alert, but it still came on. It's an end-to-end stuff. You might see an equalizing goal before the end of the first half.
This is Gaira Juve who tries to dribble past his marker around the edge of the 18. Back to Adam Akante. Fortune enjoying possession in their opposition's half. It's already a busy technical area for both gaffers. This time it's a strike caught out by Ibrahim Jata. Adam Akante regained possession. This is coming from the Live Your Dreams Football Complex in Basuri, and of course it is live in the GFF Men's Division 1. Of course, the top of the table clash between Fortune and champions Real de Banjul. And currently champions Real de Banjul led by a 0-0. This time Adam Akante trying to go solo. Can they get something from this? Blocked in there by Ibrahim Jata. And Ibrahim just there in time to cut that ball. Defensively, of course, the goal is definitely a wake-up call for the champions, of course, for Fortune Football Club after going down by a 0-0 after that defensive or goalkeeping howl from Nuha Sanyang, the custodian.
Goalkeepers win you matches, but defenders win you titles. And that number 15 did just that to defend a lead for the time being.
Of course, from the Live Your Dreams Football Complex in Basuri, the top of the table class. Champions Real de Banjul up against second place Fortune. Fortune trailed by a 0-0, courtesy of Swaibu Kebe. And Swaibu broke the deadlock to give the advantage. Busy technical area, it's a strike and a header. Partly defended there by the champions Real de Banjul, Ibrahim Jata. He'll solely work on a defensive work on the far side. Currently having it tough against Ferdinand Jata, and already the champions have already cleared their line. It is Abdullah Tamba to Salifu Koli, the former Real de Banjul player, who squares that ball on the far side, trying to connect the run of Adam Akante. Unfortunately, the ball is too strong on the far side for a champion or the champions throw in Real de Banjul.
Since they conceded that goal, they have been trying to peg Real in their own half, trying to play, of course, a half field, but you have to be very much aware of Real de Banjul's attack, and they're always fast on the ball. The transition is always good for them, but you know, we might see goals in this game, Pafati.
We might see goals, and already we have seen a goal. And this time to the champions Real de Banjul. And in case you're just joining us, you're reminded that we're coming to you live from the Live Your Dreams football field in Basuri, the home of the champions Real de Banjul. And it is currently the top of the table class and the title decider between champions Real de Banjul and Fortune Football Club. And currently it is 1-0 and 1-0 in favor of the champions Real de Banjul. And champions Real currently starting with Lamin Sedi in goal, Mustafa Nyasi, David Sambu, Ibrahim Jata, Hassan Najiba, Ibunene Kasama, Alassane Sedi, Mustafa Baji, Mamadou Jobate, Abdullah Balde and Swaibu Kebe, who scored the only goal so far. And Fortune on the other end lost possession to the champions Real de Banjul. And Fortune is starting with Nuha Sanyang in goal, Ibrahim Toure, Bakari Sise, Sambujang Toure, Abdullah Tamba, Seni Jata, Ibu Sanyang, Adam Akante, Salifu Koli, Gaira Juve and Ferdinand Jata around the area. Swaibu Kebe strikes into the gloves of the custodian. Lively contest, great atmosphere, of course. Great afternoon from the Live Your Dreams Football Complex, of course, in Basuri. We are definitely loving the atmosphere, Saleh Ujalo. The champions Real de Banjul just need a point to be crowned champions, of course, currently leading by a 0-0. If they are able to secure maximum points, that might be enough for them, but even a point will definitely be enough to be crowned champions.
Well, looking at the timing, unofficial.
Is that going to be? And that's a clearance coming from Real de Banjul, partly cleared. Fortune Football Club will try to get that ball in their opposition's half. Hassan Jiba strikes, and already the final touch on Fortune Football Club. Back to you, Salio.
We played 10 minutes according to my clock, and as things stand, Real are currently the champions of the land.
Of course, currently the champions leading by a 0-0 against Fortune Football Club after the goalkeeping blunder from the custodian Nuha Sanyang. And it's a throw in, Hassan Jiba to deliver. Hassan Jiba with a long one, Swaibu Kebe heads. Another opportunity around the center circle. Abdullah Balde, and that's a handballer signaled by the central referee Ibrahim Janko Sama, who is having the assistance of Abisise. Mustafa Bujang, Aissatou Toure is the fourth assistant referee. Kaba Jiba is the match commissioner, and Alaji Sane is of course the referee assessor from the Live Your Dreams football field in Basuri. And it is the top of the table class and title decider between Real de Banjul and Fortune Football Club. Abdullah Tamba to Bakari Cisse. Bakari on the left side of the defense. Back to Tamba Abdullahi, to his defensive partner Sambujang Toure and team captain. And Fortune currently playing a defensive trio. Abdullahi Tamba, Ferdinand Jata and Sambujang Toure. Seni Jata. Of course, this is his first game after serving his suspension. It is Toure Sambujang, the team captain, to Nuha Sanya. Nuha the custodian. Getting it further. And Nuha this time not a great one once again. Trying to connect Bakari Cisse on the far side. And his delivery could not connect the run of Bakari. And it's a throw in Mustafa Nyase to Ibrahim K. Jata for the champions Real de Banjul, who are dressed in all white under the guidance of head coach Ibrahim Jata. Ibrahim K. Jata back to the custodian Lamin Sedi. Sedi Lamin is the team captain for the champions. David Sambu. David trying to use the left side. This time to Hassan Jiba. Hassan trying a back heel, but unfortunately could not connect the run of Jobate, and it's a throw in Ibrahim Toure. Fortune trailed by a goal to nil against champions Real de Banjul. And Real just need a point to be crowned champions of 2024-25 GFF Men's Division 1. Of course, it is match day 28 of the GFF Men's Division 1. Adam Akante penalized by the central referee Ibrahim Janko Sama. It is definitely a lively contest, and I believe Saliu Jalo we're going to have an incredible turnout here. Though the distance is a bit far, but we believe it's going to be an improved performance compared to most of the GFF Men's Division 1 games.
Absolutely, everybody want to be present when it comes to the deciding moment, and they will go back and of course say to their families that we were there when it happened. We were there when they were crowned champions, or when they were given like the go ahead to celebrate as the champions of the land. But then one thing that I've observed from Ibrahim Ajada, Jix, the head coach of Real de Banjul, he's very furious playing the ball at the back, like recycling it with his defense line. Most of the time he's urging his players to go forward. Probably he's trying to put the game to bed before the end of the first half.
That's another opportunity. Ibrahim Toure will try to head that. Jobate collects the ball around the edge of the 18. Real de Banjul strikes, palmed away by the custodian partly. Another opportunity. Ibunene Gassama with the second goal for the champions Real de Banjul. Ibunene Gassama with the second goal, and the champions currently lead by 2 goals to nil at home. And the trophy of course is heading home. The trophy is heading home, and Real de Banjul leading by 2 goals to nil against Fortune Football Club at the Live Your Dreams Football Complex. Saliu Jalo. We have already seen 2 goals coming from the champions, and Fortune Football Club, if they want to deprive champions Real de Banjul to be crowned champions, they need to score again to deprive the champions from being crowned the 2025 league champion. But it is already a 2-0 advantage for the champions. Of course, the head coach Ibrahim Ajata is still giving instruction to his players. Saliu Jalo, the trophy we repeat is seemingly heading home to the champions. Of course, that's going to be the 3rd successive time for the champions Real de Banjul defending the GFF Men's Division 1 crown.
Well, they are turning it into their own league now. Instead of like competing with other teams, it's like they're creating their own league, their own mantra. You know, it is a helpless Jane Juve on the touchline. Someone that you look into his face and you feel sorry for him. You look at the defensive howlers again. Another poor defending here. It cost them. The goalkeeper did his part in the 4th save, but then it was more of like an assist to Ibunene, and you know, in his own ground, he knows where to put the ball, and there's a very poor communication there. But then it's 2-0 now, and it's like they're running riot now. Real de Banjul at their own patch. This is a fortress ground to other teams. You come here under the hot stone, they will make you suffer. But then it's a lesson learned by the petroleum boys to go back to the drawing board and restructure things again. And looking at the ingredients that they have, the players that they have, the caliber of players, the experienced players that they have in them, they deserve better than this. They deserve better than this, than being a runner-up every year. You know, they have to compete. The last time they won it, many kids forget the year. But, you know, they will tell you we still won it. But then it's about time they feel the test again. But it's like Real de Banjul are running away with the title.
There we go. Words of a colleague and brother. Saleu Jallo from the Live Your Dreams Football Complex in Basorian already. It is 19 minutes unofficial if we are able to get that time accurately. 15 minutes unofficial according to our clock as the central referee and his officials are with the official timing, and the central referee is Ibrahim Janko Sama. Abi Sise is the fourth assistant referee. Mustafa Bujang Aissatou Toure is the fourth assistant referee. Kaba Jiba, the match commissioner, and Alaji Sane is serving as the referee assessor. Ibu Nene Gassama, who got the second goal, and Ibu is been blocked in there by Sambujang Toure, who is currently serving as the team captain for the Petroleum Boys of Fortune Football Club.
When they scored the second goal, I saw Ibrahim Ajata's celebrations. I saw his celebration. He raised two fingers on top, and then he made of like a peaceful celebration. It's like he's gone in everyone. And all of a sudden, I saw Coach Hughes raising the three fingers. It's like the number 3 is looming. That is the 3rd trophy in a row. That is the message that they are sending Pafati. That we are winning it for the 3rd time in a row.
That's the signal from the gaffers of champions Real de Banjul. Ibrahim Toure operating on the right side of the defense for the Petroleum Boys. Adama Kante back to Ferdinand Jata. Fortune Football Club trailed by 2-0 against Real de Banjul, and that seems to be a slap on the face. Swaibu Kebe is currently down, and the gaffer seems to be protesting against that decision. But the central referee Ibrahim Jata and Ibrahim Janko Sama never gave that, and Swaibu Kebe is still down. Swaibu is still down, nosing that injury. We believe he is going to be assisted by the medics, and Ibrahim Janko Sama has already given the green light for play to restart. Swaibu Kebe is back on his feet. Sambujang Toure, the team captain, will slowly start the play for the Petroleum Boys, who trail by 2-0 against champions Real de Banjul at the Live Your Dreams Football Complex in Basori. Bakari Sise to Abdullah Tamba, playing that ball short. Salih Fukoli trying to pull the strings around the center circle, spreads that ball on the far side. Bakari Sise trying to connect that ball on the far side. Another opportunity for Fortune Football Club to break. Caught out partly around the edge. Fortune slips. Real de Banjul. Abdullah Balde strikes it forward. It is Swaibu Kebe who is currently leading the line. Scored the 4th goal. Swaibu Kebe trying to go solo strike. Swaibu Kebe. And Swaibu with another strike, and this time around never troubled the goalkeeper. And Real de Banjul continue to lead by 2-0 and continue to search for more goals. Saleu Jallo.
Well, you look at Guerra right now for Fortune. He's not receiving the ball that he wants. And you look at Torres Ibu Sanyang. He's been quiet in the last 5 minutes of this first half. But they need connection, and Guerra have to drop deep if he's going to be part of the play. You have to drop deep, connect the balls to the center circle, and then create space. Because Adama is not connected. It's only Salifu that is doing so. That is Salifu Koli, who is dropping deep on a defensive mission, helping the team and try to pick up balls as well to try to create something. But you look at the combination, the connection between Adama and Guerra Juve is not working right now. Likewise, Ibu Sanyang. And the number 5 also. There is urgency like in the midfield department. Well, that was another opportunity to put the game to bed from Swaibu. But this cross was not met by a man in white.
There we go. It's a delivery coming from Ferdinand Jata, one of the central defenders of Fortune Football Club. Adama Kante trying to move that ball around the edge of the 18. It is Fortune trailed by 2-0, and that's a shout for a handball and nothing given by the central referee Ibrahim Janko Sama, who waved in for a play on instead of awarding a penalty. Of course, instead of awarding a penalty to Fortune Football Club. Adama Kante, Ibrahim Toure around the area. Ibu Sanyang with a glancing header. Mustafa Nyase, who is operating on the right side of the defense, clears that ball desperately, and it's going to be an opportunity on the far side. An opportunity on the far side for Fortune Football Club to benefit from a throw-in. Second place, Fortune trail 2-0 against champions Real de Banjul, and of course it is top of the table class and also a title decider between Fortune Football Club and champions Real de Banjul. Hassan Jiba will deliver this throw-in for the boys in all white. Real de Banjul against Fortune Football Club. Lively contest from the Live Your Dreams football field in Basori. 19 minutes on our clock. Unofficial. Swaibu Kebe. Kebe Swaibu scored the 1st goal before Ibu Nene Gassama getting the 2nd for the champions. Swaibu Kebe. Adama Kante trying to move forward. This is Hassan Jiba. It's another throw-in. Fortune Football Club. David Sambo getting that ball to touch. Hassan Jiba is still down, and central referee Ibrahim Janko Sama has already given the green light. Ibrahim Toure to Gairaju. Gaira Juve currently leading the line for the Petroleum boys. Around the area, Gaira Juve blocked in there on the far side. Champions Real de Banjul regain possession, not for too long, having it tough against Gaira once again. Gaira Juve goes to ground and this time being rewarded by the central referee Ibrahim Janko Sama, who is having the assistance of Abitise Mustafa Bojang. Ayatu is the fourth assistant referee. Kabajiba is the match commissioner and Alaji Sane is the referee assessor. From the Live Your Dreams Football Complex in Basori, it's a class, of course, match day 28 of the GFF Men's Division 1. Of course, the title decider between champions Real de Banjul and second place Fortune Football Club. Advantage to the champions. Swaibu Kebe broke the deadlock before Ibu Nene Gassama, getting the second for head coach Ibrahim Jata and his boys at home. And it is currently a lively contest. Lively moments from the Live Your Dreams Football Complex in Basori. It's a set piece. Salifu Koli to deliver. It's a crowded penalty area for champions Real de Banjul. Lamin said the custodian, and that seems to be a push and pull between the players of Fortune and champions Real de Banjul and the central referee rather. Ibrahim Janko Sama had to settle that, and he has already given the green light. Salifu Koli to deliver. Salifu floats that ball, this time trying to connect the run of Abdullah Tamba. Lamin Sedi point that ball away. And Lamin Sedi seems to be protesting, and it's going to be another corner for the Petroleum boys.
But he's protesting at his players, not at the central referee Janko. Remember, Janko officiated the game between TMT and Steve Biko at the goal project, in which ended 1-all. TMT came from behind to restore parity in the 9 minutes. Coach of former Steve Biko player, that is Amadou Tamba Demba to be precise. But then back to Basori. Well, there is already pushing there inside the penalty box, but there's going to be a community meeting. But you look at Fortune, like probably they will try to capitalize on the set pieces to get something, out of it. They might still be in this game if at all they can pull one back before the break.
It's a possibility. Fortune trail 2-0 against Real de Banjul. From the Live Your Dreams football field, Salifu Koli around the area. Hassan Jiba with a timely interception. It's Ibrahim Toure trying to connect Adama Kante on the far side, but Adama penalized by the flag of the assistant referee on the far side. It's going to be an opportunity for champions Real de Banjul, and Real de Banjul wouldn't be in any hurry, currently leading by 2-0, and they have all the time to definitely wind down the clock.
That was a very good delivery from Salifu Koli inside the penalty box, but it met the ball met a player in white. That's why it was well defended there. But then, as you mentioned earlier on, they are not in a hurry because they know what the scoreboard reads. It is 2-0 to the good of Real de Banjul.
It is Sambujang now on a defensive work against Waibu Kebe. And the central referee has already given a corner to Fortune to Real de Banjul.
One of the most experienced defenders in the division, that is Sambujan, the captain for Fortune. He isn't happy looking at Fortune's current situation right now. But that is the game of football for you. Sometimes it is always cruel. But then, they were one-time champions, and Sambuja was among the players that lifted that trophy. He was the one that lifted the trophy at the Independence Stadium. But then I believe as I mentioned earlier on, there is more room for improvement that they need. They have to go back to the drawing board, restructure themselves, rebrand themselves, and of course rebuild the team again, the team spirit again. It's always difficult, Juve crossing from Bara to Banjul every time coming here expecting results, positive results, but it never comes their way. The main objective was the FF Cup, in which they squandered via the lottery. They brought in experienced players to help them win the league or compete at the highest order, but things fall apart.
Of course, it's a corner for Real de Banjul around the area, point away by the custodian, David Sambu. He collects that ball on the far side for Real de Banjul, and the team is currently leading. Abdullahi Balde never troubled the goalkeeper this time around. Balde Abdullahi is one of the leading players for the champions Real de Banjul 11 on his back. Abdullahi Tamba Abdullahi to Bakari Sise. Fortune trail 2-0. Around the area, Abdullahi Tamba once again. It is at this very venue where Fortune Football Club came from 2 goals down to pick a point against Steve Biko. Ibu Sanya. Ibu to Ibrahim Toure. Operating on the right side of the defense. Ibu now, a former Real de Banjul player, 8 on his back. Dropping that ball to Seni Jata. Back to Abdullahi Tamba. Great possessive display coming from the Petroleum boys of Fortune Football Club under the guidance of coach Jane Juve. Bakari Sese trying to look for options on the far side, dropping that ball for Seni Jata around the edge. Seni trying to reconnect The run of Salifu Koli unfortunately lost it, and it's going to be an opportunity. Of course, it's going to be an opportunity. Salif Jallo, of course, people will definitely want to be here to watch this crucial and lively game. To many, of course, is a title desired. Of course, Fortune Football Club will possibly have the chance to delay, but currently, it is definitely fading away.
The 1 million is now having a one-way traffic. That is, it's said into Basuri, Real de Banjul, the beneficiary. For the time being, looking at the clock right now and looking at the scoreline, the scoreboard, 2-0, and you look at the defense line of Real de Banjul, they are not that much pushed to the wire or tested to the limit. Just in very few occasions when it comes to set pieces from Fortune, and you look at the goalkeeper, he isn't been trouble compared to the opponent's goalkeeper in this first half. But it is football for you. You know, if you win the league, everything goes right for you.
There we go. Salihu Jallo. It is Ibrahima Kejata. Ibrahima launched that ball forward. Never trouble the goalkeepers. Nuha Sanya. Nuha is the custodian to Ferdinand Jata. Ferdinand trying to connect the run of Adama Kante. Ibu Nene Gassama. Ibu Sanyang. This time around, Ibu Sanyang penalized, and Ibu protested against that decision of the central referee Ibrahima Janko Sama. But currently Ibu Nene Gassama is currently down, nosing an injury. Will he need assistance from the medics? We are in so. Ibu Nene back on his feet. Scored the second goal after Swaibu Kebe getting the champions the lead at the Live Your Dreams Football Complex in Basuri. It's of course a busy technical area for both gaffers. Ibrahima Jata on the technical area for the champions Real de Banjul, and Jane Diouf is also very much busy around his technical area. Around the center circle, champions Real de Banjul. Mustafa Baje trying to connect the run of the player up front into the gloves of the custodian Nuha Sanyang. Nuha is the custodian for Fortune Football Club. And in the opposite goal post is Lamin Sedi, the team captain for the champions Real de Banjul.
I am a bit surprised. In a game of this magnitude, I haven't seen the officials, the match officials, having their communicating gadgets today in this game, which is very important. Look at the first assistant referee shouting to the center referee, Kanaila Koma be the Katola. You have to give a sideways turn, and you know what is happening behind the scenes. And the center referee wasn't that much clear on what this guy already said to him. But communication devices at this peak of the league is very important, and we are just talking about graduating from amateur to professional league, and this is the second time champions playing against one-time champions Real de Banjul and Fortune, and there is no communication device, and you have to shout to the center referee where even the spectators are hearing what you're saying. So it's very unfortunate from our point of view.
Thank you very much, Salihu Jallo, and back to the live commentary from the Live Your Dreams Football Complex. Of course, in the heart of Basuri, West Coast region. Combo, East West Coast region, the Gambia. And it is the ground currently hosting the GFF Men's Division 1. Top of the table class and a league decider between Fortune and champions Real de Banjul. Ibrahima Toure to Gaira Diouf. Spreads it wide. Adama Kante around the edge. Trying to dribble past one. Looking for more. Adama back to the advancing player. Ibrahima Toure trying to cross over. Seni Jata. Jata Seni for Fortune Football Club, and it is Jata Seni to Salifu Kole. Salifu to Bakari Sise, around the edge, drills that ball low. Ibrahima Kejata clears that ball desperately. Abdullah Tamba, one of the central defenders, to his defensive partner, Sambujang Toure. It is Ferdinand Jata. Ferdinand to Ibu Sanyang. Lost it. Ibu regained possession. Lost it once again, and champions Real de Banjul will move that ball further. Ibrahima Toure. Once again to Adama Kante. Fortune enjoying possession in their opposition's half. It's going to be an opportunity for the Petroleum boys. Ibu Sanyang against his former club, Seni Jata. Bakari Sise. Sise Bakari to Seni Jata once again. Fortune Football Club under the guidance of head coach Jane Diouf trailed by 2-0 against the champions Real de Banjul. And Real with a point is enough to secure this trophy for them. Ibu Sanyang strikes this time around, caught out by Asan Jiba. Ibu Nene Gassama for champions Real de Banjul around the center of the pitch. Not a very good combination this time around, coming from the number 21 Alassane Sedi.
That was a blind pass, but I've observed Ibu Nene, like his mission is to try to stop Ibu Sanyang from having that comfort zone in the center circle, or having that killer passes in this game, and it's more of like anytime Ibu Sanyang breaks the ball. That was a brilliant nutmeg there. Pafati. They're trying to come into this game. That is Fortune. But Ibunene's mission is to stop Ibu Sanyang.
Of course, this is Adam Akande who strikes. Solid header. Coming from the central defender, David Sambu into the gloves of the custodian, Lamin Sedi.
Well, he reduced the speed and the velocity of the strike, and that helps the shotstopper having a comfortable save. But that could have been a very good, a thunderous shot on target there.
Probably that would have troubled the custodian, Lamin Sedi. Of course, in goal for the champions, Real de Bandjula, the Live Your Dreams football field in Basori. Of course, it is the top of the table class. Fortune currently on second against table toppers champions Real de Bandjul. Real leading the line or leading the table before this contest on first with 55 points, Fortune on second with 47, Falcons on third with 45, Brikama United fourth with 39, Heart FC on fifth. This is Jobate around the edge of the 18, Abdullah Tamba having a top against Jobate into the gloves of the custodian Noha Sanyang. That was definitely an incredible run, but Abdullah Tamba was just there in time to recover that ball from Jobate.
Brilliant defensive work from Abdullah Tamba. He has been alive in this game. That is Tamba for Fortune. You know, you have to run head over heels to close that gap. That was just a brilliant one. Fortune were on the brink of conceding the third goal.
Of course, that is Fortune Football Club against champions Real de Bandjul. Of course, Real de Bandjul playing at home. It is the Live Your Dreams Football Complex in the community of Basori, Combo East, West Coast region, the Gambia. Of course, it's match day 28 of the GFF Men's Division 1. And of course, the title decider, a victory for champions Real de Bandjul will confirm their supremacy, of course, in this year's GFF Men's Division 1. And they will be crowned champions of 2024-25 GFF Men's Division 1. Of course, Saliu Jallow, champions Real de Bandjul, are also in the semi-final of the FF Cup. And they will be playing the Brikama Base Club, of course, Greater Tomorrow in the semi-final. Are we going to see, probably we might also see champions Real de Bandjul going in for a double this time around?
Yeah, winning it like winning the league and winning the FF Cup. What the season will be for Ibrahim Ajix and his staff, what the season will be for Willie Abraham and co. But then, like you know, don't rule out TMT in this game. In that competition, that is the FF Cup. Their number one target is the FF Cup. Just like how Fortune came into this competition, part of their target was, of course, to have the FF Cup and, of course, amend the mistakes ahead of the next season. But in Real de Bandjul, on the brink of winning 2 trophies, or they're still alive and well in this mission to win the league and win the FF Cup. Probably the most difficult task right now is the FF Cup, not the league, because they're almost closing the chapter of the league today.
Thank you very much, Saliu Jallow, and already the flag of the assistant referee is up and up against Real de Bandjul, and it's an advantage Fortune Football Club, and Fortune will have the opportunity to have this set piece. Even their oppositions have. Adam Akante down, back on his feet, and Salifu Koli seems to be the candidate to deliver. Jane Juve busy on his technical area, and equally hit Koji Ibrahim Ajata, also very much busy on his technical area, currently having an advantage, leading by 2-0 against second place Fortune FC.
You look at Ibrahim Ajata, Jigs, Hans Akimbo, you look at Jane Juve, Hans Akimbo, that is the only thing that they have in common right now. Difference with the score line. And earlier when I told you raise his 3 fingers, it simply means that he's signaling to his of course opponent Jin Juve that I'm coming for the 3rd trophy. You know, he's having that, you know, mentality in him, and he's one of the finest coaches, you know, in the country. That is Ibrahim Ajata since his days at the Kaki Boys. That is Salifu Koli.
It's a delivery. Salifu Koli strikes, partly cleared out by the champions Real de Bandjul, and finally Bakari Sise handed that ball to Ibunene Kasama. Ibunene trying to go solo, looking for options, waiting for the advancing players, spreads that ball further. This is Jobate around the edge. Ibrahim Jobate into the close of the custodian, but the flag is already up against Abdullah Balde. And that's of course the 3rd goal for the champions Real de Bandjul, but unfortunately the flag of the assistant referee, of course, Abi Sise, is already up and up against Abdullah Balde. 11 for the champions Real de Bandjul. That would have been the 3rd goal for the champions, unfortunately cancelled out by the flag of the assistant referee on the other end, and still the scoreline is 2-0 in favour of champions Real de Bandjul against Fortune FC.
My question is, why did Momodo Jobate have to break that ball? But it's on the other side for Fortune. But why did Momodo Jobate have to break that ball? He could have just go for a strike.
Ibu Sanyang This time not an incredible one coming from Ibrahima. Back to you, Saliu.
He didn't score at the preferred post, he scored at the opposite post, which is that will never be counted. But that was another opportunity. I told you earlier on, Real's counter is always dangerous. And you look at Suebu Kebe, how he pulled the strings to be in the center circle or in the penalty area within a blink of an eye. And likewise, of course, Jobate, the number 24. You know, that is how they play, and that is the mantra of Real de Banjul, and that is always their game plan.
Thank you very much. Words of a colleague, brother, of course, from the Live Your Dreams Football Complex in Basori. We will surely get you. Of course, it is 35 minutes unofficial, according to our clock. Of course, not the official clock, as the central referee and his officials are with the official timing, and it is currently 35 minutes unofficial in the GFF Men's Division 1 fixture between Fortune Football Club and the champions Real de Banjul, and currently underway at the Live Your Dreams Football Field in Basori. Fortune trail 2-0. Abdullah Tamba to Bakari Sise. Sise operating on the left side of the defense, caught out by Mustafa Jiba or Mustafa Nyase. Mustafa Nyase is operating on the right side of the defense for the champions, whilst Asan Jiba operates on the left side of the defense. And Fortune FC currently having Nuha Sanyang in goal, and the defensive trio of Abdullah Tamba, Sambujang Ture and Ferdinand Jata. Seni Jata marshalling the heart of the midfield for Coach Jane Juve and his boys. And up front, or in front of Seni Jata, is Ibu Sanyang. Gaira Juve reading the line. Salifu Koli and Adama Kante operating on the left side of the attacks for Coach Jane Juve and his boys. And Ferdinand Jata is being rustled and rewarded. Of course, the central referee is Ibrahima Janko Sama, who is having the assistance of Abi Sise, Mustafa Bujang. Aissatou Toure is the fourth assistant referee. Kaba Jiba, the match commissioner. And Alaji Sane, of course, is the referee assessor from the Live Your Dreams Football Complex in the heart of Basore. The champions enjoying the 2-0 advantage against second place Fortune Football Club, who needs to score twice if they want to pick a point, and needs to score thrice at least to secure maximum points. And will they be able to do is the biggest question, and also the biggest ambition for Coach Jane Juve and his boys. And also already it's a set piece at a great position. Ibo Sanyang, the former Real de Banjul player, currently behind the ball. Will he be able to trouble the goalkeeper from this distance? Spreads that ball wide, trying to connect the run of Ibrahima Toure, who tries to reconnect the player. And unfortunately, the ball is being blocked to touch. And of course, it's going to be a corner for Fortune Football Club. And still, Fortune trying to pull one back in this contest, but the score is still champions Real de Banjul 2, Fortune Football Club 0.
The IQ from Ibusanya and Torres is just top notch. That left-footed pass to the far side to connect the dots with the number 18 was just brilliant. You know, he's a player to watch. He's just a joy to watch. You know, we read his journey via Ibrahima Sonko's page, or KB Sonko's page. You know, that symbol tells you that he came from, you know, from grass to grace, and he never give up, and he hardly give up, especially games like this. You know, he might be the provider in this game if Fortune are to restore parity in this game.
A Fortune are to restore parity. Anyway, the team trail 2-0. It's a corner, beautifully executed. Momodu Jobate on a defensive work this time around. It's going to be Fortune FC to benefit from a throw in. Sambujang Ture, the team captain and central defender. Hassan Jiba rose the highest, had a touch. It's going to be a corner on the far side. Mustafa, this time around, it's going to be a Fortune corner once again. Fortune trail 2-0 at the Live Your Dreams football field. Of course, in the heart of Basuri, Combo East, West Coast region, the Gambia, top of the table class, March day 28, between the champions Real de Banjul and second place Fortune Football Club, and the last 5 matches played between Fortune Football Club and champions Real de Banjul. Real de Banjul won twice, drew thrice, and Fortune won none. It's a corner, and the last fixture played between Fortune and champions Real de Banjul was 1-0 victory for the champions. This time Ibrahima Jata with a glancing header. Salifu Kole to Seni Jata on the far side. Fortune Football Club lost it. It is now the champion Real de Banjul to benefit from a throw-in. And Real wouldn't be in any hurry, as they currently leading by 2-0. They broke the deadlock courtesy of Suwaibu Kebe before Ibunene Gassama getting the second for Coach Ibrahima Jata and his boys from the very own complex. Of course, they are training complex in the heart of Basuri. West Coast region, of course, the Gambia. It is March day 28. Title decider, of course, title decider between Real de Banjul and Fortune Football Club. And currently, Real de Banjul are on course of defending their crown. And if they are able to win it, it's going to be the third successive trophy for Ibrahim Ajata and his boys.
Well, they will tell you, like, if they are to win this league, it's going to be very difficult for any team to do this, the same one. You look at the trend of Gambian football, where we are heading to the journey as well, teams that are coming, players as well. To do this in the next 3 years will be very difficult. You know, it will be very difficult. You know, it needs a lot of ingredients in that. When you look at Shuaibu Kebe, he never gave up, and he wins a corner now.
Of course, that was definitely a pressure from Shuaibu Kebe, trying to put a little bit of pressure after that pass from Abdullah Tamba to the custodian Nuha Sanyang. Of course, it's going to be a corner on the far side for the champions Real de Banjul, currently with the 2-0 advantage.
Once again, the 1 million will be spending months with Real de Banjul. That is the trophy.
Of course, it is currently getting closer and closer to the champions Real de Banjul, leading by 2-0 at their own turf. Of course, Live Your Dreams Football Complex in March 28. Title decider between champions Real de Banjul and Fortune FC from the Live Your Dreams Football Complex in Basori, and Mustafa Nyasi to deliver. Nyasi Mustafa floats that ball around the area. This time Ibrahim Akejata trying to control that ball forward. It's an opportunity for Fortune to break. This time caught out by Asan Jiba. Fortune FC, great back heel. Gaira Juf to Ibu Sanyang, who spreads that ball on the far side. Salifu Koli around the edge. Dribble pass one, looking for the opportunity. And that was definitely very close, and the custodian was just there in time to get that ball around the area. And this time, definitely very close for Fortune Football Club to pull one back. Unfortunately for Fortune Football Club, Lamin Sedi was just equal to that task by palming that ball away. And it is already a corner, and it's a corner for Fortune Football Club. Saliu Jalo, this is definitely very close for Fortune Football Club to pull one back, unfortunately for Salif Fukoli, of course, who is also another former Real de Banjul player. That would have been a goal for Salifu, and then that would have definitely be a very good goal, scoring a goal against his former club, champions Real de Banjul.
It could have been a deserved goal for Salifu. He has been alive and well in this game, but the counter was just brilliant. Ibu's pass was brilliant, and the player fall to the defender fall to the ground, and was more of like a giveaway to Salifu Koli. But he have also to force the stopper to stretch, you know, to the limit to put that save. That is a champion save. That is a champion save, to be precise. A top-notch save. That could have been, well, the equal, at least pulling one back. But Salifu is still, you know, suffering on the ground with that injury he picked up in that incident. But then, that could have been the goal number one for Fortune.
He just dragged into the bottom corner. Another Makante pulled one back for the Petroleum boys. And Fortune pulled one back moments before halftime. Saliu Jalo, this is definitely timely for Fortune Football Club. And it is game on in Basori.
It was looming. You look at the counter. You look at the counter earlier on from Salifu, and Salifu is back. He's coming to the pitch, of course, to play 2 against 1, 2 goals to 1 now. But you know, the goalkeeper did a very brilliant save in Salifu's strike. But the second one, the set piece, the corner, you know, he was not up to the task, and that is game on now here at Basori. If you are to win the league, probably, if you are to win the league, Fortune will tell you you are not going to win it easy. You are not going to be crowned champion so easy. We have to push you to the limit. We have to push you to the wire. And Adam Akante have to already sold experience to one of the most experienced stoppers in the country as well.
There we go, of course, into the final moments, of course, in Basori. Champions up against second place Fortune FC. Of course, we have played 44 minutes unofficial. 44 minutes unofficial. Anyway, the fourth assistant referee is checking on her wrist. Anyway, Ibunene Gassama, who scored the second goal for Real de Banjul. Back to Ibrahim Akejata. Ibrahim is one of the central defenders who launched that ball forward, trying to connect the run of Mustafa Nyasi. Mustafa trying to keep that ball in play. This time it is Bakari Sisa around the edge. And Abdullah Tamba just there in time to get that ball off the area. That was indeed a great run coming from Mustafa.
I told you about this player, that is Abdullah Tamba. He has been a pivotal defender for Fortune. I don't think whether he's going to spend another season with Fortune. If he is to fly high, let him fly high. We'll be very pleased with that. But then he's a top-notch of a defender. You know, Real might come calling, but he will tell you, I prefer going abroad than playing against my rivals. Like, that is Real de Banjul. But then, like, at one point in time, it was like the ball was around the half of Real de Banjul, but within a blink of an eye, Real de Banjul benefits a set piece.
Of course, it's a corner on the far side. It is going to be a delivery for champions Real de Banjul, and strikes comes in around the edge of the 18-4 Fortune Football Club, who trail by 2-1. Trail 2-0 earlier on, and of course already that's an infringement as signaled by the central referee Ibrahim Janko Sama, and this time it is the champions Real de Banjul, and Real will now have the opportunity, and seemingly it's going to be 2 minutes of additional time, and this 2 minutes of additional time will give the opportunity for Fortune Football Club and champions, either for champions Real de Banjul to hold on, or Fortune Football Club to possibly have the chance to get this game to parity before lemon time, or else champions Real de Banjul will head in, or will be heading back into the dressing room with their noses in front. We have to wait for that. This time strike comes in. Abdullah Tamba with a timely header. Gaira Juf. Gaira trying to go solo. Gaira Juf to Ibrahima Toure. Ibrahima looking for options, spreads it forward. It's going to be Gaira Juve once again. Fortune Football Club on the far side. It's another goal, and it is the second goal for Fortune Football Club, and it is already 2-2. It is 2-2 in Basori. Saliu Jalo, lively moments, great atmosphere. What are we saying? From 2 goals down, it is currently 2-2, and I was saying this is, of course, this was at the very venue where Fortune Football Club came from 2 goals down to restore parity against Steve Biko, and once again they have done it against champions Real de Banjul at the very on top. Of course, the Live Your Dreams Football Complex in Basori, who got the second goal, I have to confirm.
Salifu Koli.
It is Salifu Koli who got the second goal. Of course, Salifu Koli got the second goal for Fortune Football Club, and it is currently parity restored in Basori. Of course, it is going to be an incredible second half, of course, between champions Real de Banjul and Fortune Football Club.
He gave the devil it, so let me begin with Salifu Koli. He did not celebrate. That was a sign of an apology to his former employer. But then the transition from their own half, Gaira fought 2-0 to win the ball against the number 24 here, Momodu Jobate, to be precise. And then he connected the dots to Adama. Adama have to send it back to Gaira, and then Gaira connected the dots with Salifu. Empty net, Salifu dribble past the shortstopper, empty net, he have to last the ball. Early on, his first strike was blocked, and this time around no one was there to stop him. And since then they have been alive in this game. Since pulling that goal back, they have been alive and well in this game.
It's back to the custodian Nuhasanya, who clears that ball desperately, and it is currently half-time. And it is half-time in Basori, half-time between champions Real de Banjul and second place Fortune Football Club. Saliu Jalo, we're going to see an interesting, more and more interesting second half between champions Real de Banjul. Anyway, it is half-time. We have seen a lot in the first half, and we believe we're going to see more and more of this in the second period.
Well, I told you, if they are to be crowned champions, yes, but Fortune have to push them down the wire. They have to push Real de Banjul to the wall, to test them to the limit. If they are to be crowned champions, yes, you might be crowned champions at your own patch, but it's going to be difficult. You have to walk your swords off, and it is 2-2. Remontada at the highest order.
Anyway, it is half-time, of course, half-time in Basori, half-time between the champions Real de Banjul and second place Fortune Football Club, and it is currently 2 apiece. Waibo Kebe broke the deadlock for the champions Real de Banjul before Ibunene Gassama getting the second for the champions to give them the 2-0 advantage. But guess what? Fortune Football Club came from 2 goals down to secure and also pulled a massive comeback from the Live Your Dreams Football Complex. Of course, Saliu Jalo, it is half-time. This is where we're going to have 15 minutes of rest. But before we go, your final words before we let you go.
Well, they were pushed to this situation. They were in this situation against Steve Biko here at this patch, that is Basori, the fortress ground for Real de Banjul, and they have to restore parity, in which Steve Biko, they will tell you, we are very bitter about that, leading 2-0 and ending up settling to a draw. Real de Banjul, despite a draw, will do, but they want to do it in a fashion way. They want to win this game. They want to win this game to celebrate it in a well-befitting celebration. But then from 2 goals down, and one of the most strong defense line, but I stand to be corrected, because Steve Biko have the most the strongest defense line for the past 2 seasons, 3 seasons. They conceded less goals or lesser goals than other opponents. But then it is a wake-up call for Ibrahim Jiks. Like probably they will tell you, one who laughed last laughed the best. Early on he was celebrating, punching in the air, raising 2 fingers, 3 fingers. But now You look at Gaira Juve signaling to his coach, that is Jen Juve, that Defanyo. It simply means that they still believe they can even beat Real de Banjul at their own patch. And it's going to be a very disappointing result for Real de Banjul to be defeated here, and they have to catapult celebration for another fateful evening. And they will tell you, we were only stopped by common fortune, in which fortune is not common.
And they are going to play Brikama United in their next fixture. If Fortune is able to secure a victory here, probably this might also have a very difficult game against Brikama.
Yeah. Then we will go to the wire, and we expect. In fact, I am praying for that. Let it be a final game decider, or 2 games decider, or final game decider. But let's wait for it, because like Real will be playing Brikama, I stand to be corrected.
Yeah.
And you know the first fixture, what was the end result? Well, Katongo might give away Team Rhino 3 points anyhow he want, but against Real de Banjul, you know, history has it that Real's main headache in the division is always Brikama United. Can they be the Abraham or the Jesus of Fortune? That is Brikama United remains the $1 million question.
Thank you very much, Saliu Jallo, and it has been, of course, Parliament Fatih. Saliu Jallo at the commentary cabin. Behind camera operations is Osman Kamara. Until then, we are going off for 15 minutes, and we'll be back for the continuation of the live commentary from the Live Your Dreams Football Complex in the huge and massive game between champions Real de Banjul and Fortune Football Club. Until then, it is 2-2 from Basori, and we are off. Do join us in the next 15 for the continuation.